Welcome to Power, Purpose, Passion, the podcast. We are really excited to introduce to you Anthony Cheam. He has spent almost 20 years in the fitness and health industry and has gone on to transition into life coaching and is now a motivational speaker, author of the ABCs of Life and You 2.0, as well as working on courses and much more. Here he is, Anthony Cheam. Anthony, good to see you today. How you doing?
Thanks for having me again, you guys. I always enjoy my time with you guys and serving as many people as I can through these digital, up-to-date, technological ways. So it's great to have a live talk with you and be able to serve again.
Yeah, I really love how, these podcasts are things that we do right now, and it might take us half hour to 45 minutes, but they could last on for years and years and years and still have purpose, who knows, a decade from now, right?
You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right.
So you got to tell me, man, it's almost been a month since we've done a show like this. What have you been up to? How you been?
I'm doing good, man. With the kids being home from school, it's been an adjustment because I'm used to having my days sort of 8:30 to 3:30 open, and that's when I'm get really into in the zone with developing my business and developing certain strategies to expand my ability to impact and to really take control of my business and how I can impact more people's lives and through these type of things like this and online courses and writing more books and just expanding and enhancing my abilities and my skills to be the best coach and be the best version that I can be, right? So, but the past couple months, it's been great with my kids. I love my kids. They're home for another couple of weeks before they go to school, so I haven't been that busy with the business, but I've been really chiming in with making a connection with my children. But come September, it's full tilt again, back to Anthony 101 and developing his dreams, my dreams. Spoke to myself in third person, but back to my stuff and what it is really is the engine in my life that really drives my life. And so I'm a very passionate and personal and powerful and purpose-driven person. I just want to go out and live this life as much as I can. So, So, what about yourself? How you guys been, you and Cameron?
Yeah, man, it's been really great, really crazy. The business is starting to take off. We're putting a lot of time into it, a lot of social media marketing, a lot of just content and connecting with people, and it's been a great time. Cam's out working. Actually, he's here right now in the basement filming for an upcoming short film, and I'm here doing the podcast episode with you, so I'm really excited.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, you guys are doing some awesome things. I've been following you guys on Facebook and Instagram, and you guys are doing some awesome things, man. So great. Love to see it. Love to hear it, and see how it all unfolds. It's great.
So actually, you just tagged me in something on Facebook. You're doing push-ups, like a challenge. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. So one of my friends from London, client friend, he challenged me to this 22-day push-ups, 22 push-ups for 22 days straight. And what it is just sort of that ALS bucket challenge. It's a very very similar thing, but basically what it is 22 push-ups for 22 days, raising awareness for PTSD and the men and women who give their lives in war and basically protect our freedoms. And 22 people on average die per day or commit suicide per day as a result of PTSD and coming back from war. We don't know how great we really have it. My grandfather was a soldier on my mother's side, so I respect what they do to protect our freedoms and protect what we have here in Canada and North America and abroad. So it's just to raise awareness. 22 push-ups to honor the 22 people that commit suicide on a daily basis. So, and it's not just PTSD; it's mental awareness, right? Mental health and some of the challenges and struggles that people go through emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. Which is why I'm in this industry. I love it because I get to help transform people's lives, and both in the short term and long term. And as I help other people, I'm also helping myself because I grow too as a coach, as a person, as a human being, and I get to see the fruits of my labor, of the labor of what I do, and in other people's lives as they grow themselves. I get to see the testimonies and the impact that my work has had on their life or on the lives of people in the community and abroad. I mean, I just had this gentleman from South Africa messaged me, and I don't even know who he is. He saw me on my TED Talk, and he looked me up and saw a few things I was doing, and he just wrote me a message and said, your TED Talk impacted my life. It came around a time that I really needed it, and then I said, wow, it was amazing. So those little things, those ongoing testimonies are really what keep me going, because I know that if I'm making an impact, whether it be one person, 100 people, or 1,000,000 people, one person's life is worth it. And as I heard before, it's not how many. Don't judge your day by the harvest that you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. And so I'm constantly planting seeds of kindness and compassion and strength and courage, and being a source of inspiration as much as I can. So so that's where I'm at. And that 22-day push-ups, if you want to do it, by all means, get into it.
Yeah. Hey, there's a challenge to the listeners, all right?
22 push-ups.
And I know you tagged me too. It's a challenge to me, so I got to get on that as well.
Good. Fantastic.
Good.
No pressure.
No pressure. But let's get right into this episode. You've been away for about a month. Well, we've still been up to stuff, but let's hear exactly. I kind of want to know what kind of underlying themes or something, like, is there some sort of recurring thing that you're noticing in other people or in yourself that we could maybe address today for today's episode?
I think a recurring theme in the past couple months that a lot of my clients and a lot of people, even some of the books I'm reading, and even in my own personal life, adjusting to the fact that, last 10 months before my kids got out of school, I was going full tilt. I mean, I basically wrote 2 books, and I was designing online courses, and then I had basically didn't necessarily have to put a stop to that. I just had to kind of put on hold and slow down a bit, and then I had to make an adjustment in terms of my lifestyle, because I couldn't necessarily. It's not that I couldn't. It's just that I wanted to focus my attention on my kids. I mean, they're only young once, and I know that in 10 years they're not going to be anywhere near as huggable and lovable and as attention giving as they are as right now. So I better get that in now. So it's, again, planting the seeds each day, right? So I'll never get that back. The business is always going to be there, but your kids, that is timeless. So I've had a struggle dealing with that, being flexible in my time, my routine, and mastering my mind and how I approach things, how I perceive things. So, but it's been occurring in a lot of my clients. The common theme I would say is how to reframe your life and reset your mindset so that you don't see everything as problems. You don't necessarily see everything as a challenge, rather an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to step up, an opportunity to claim your life back, an opportunity to gain more insight or more wisdom. I love the story of the man who was in POW. He was basically stuck in a jail cell for 18 months, and he was stuck to a radiator and chained to a radiator for 18 months against his will, no contact with the outside world, basically in his underwear for 18 months. And so he basically had a decision. I mean, if you're put in that position, you talk about real problems. That's a real problem. I don't think anyone in North America will ever face that, or rarely will we as North Americans ever be faced with something like as crazy as that. But for 18 months, this man decided, he made a conscious decision. I can't really control my external environment, but I can control my internal mindset and how I perceive it, how I'm representing this particular stimulus that's coming at me. I can't move that much. I can't do much. But so what he did was basically he looked at his change, and each link on the chain was, he just basically gave thanks for each link would represent something he was grateful for, and he basically used it as his Protestant rosary, as he called it. And every day and every moment that he got fearful or upset or frustrated, he would just go right back to it, and that became his sort of mantra or his ritual during those times. And when he got out, he had nothing but love for the people. And they asked him, what would you say to your captors? He said, I'd simply say goodbye. No hate, but just so you think if you're caught in a situation where you feel like you can't control it, rather than look to the outside, you got to look internally to how you're representing, and I think that's the key. How are you perceiving or representing it? How you are internalizing a certain external environment. Some people see a certain situation as adversity or challenge or fear, and fear shows up. Well, other people go, well, man, this is a challenge. It's great. It's an opportunity for me to grow. Where can I see the opportunity in this? And oftentimes when I feel like I'm getting in a fearful state, or I'm having a tough time with my life, I don't look to I catch myself, and then I look to the inside of me. All the answers are inside of you. And so how can I see this different? That's one of the questions I ask myself. How can I see this particular situation different than I'm seeing it now? And or another good question is, what's good about this? How could I make this situation better so that it's serving me, the greater good, it's serving my life, it's serving my family, it's serving the people I'm working with. And all of a sudden, out of that question, resources come out of that question, right? As it says in the great Bible, ask and you shall receive. If you ask a crappy question, you're going to get crappy answers. But if you ask a quality question, you're going to get more quality answers that arise from your subconscious mind or spirit or whatever you want to call it. And so it's all about reframing how you're representing things inside your mind, what questions you're asking in a particular situation. If you feel like, oh my God, I'm in a challenge right now, or I'm struggling with money, or I'm struggling with my relationship, ask yourself the question, where's the opportunity in this? Where? And then dig deep and get your focus on where the opportunity is. How is this making me better? Or what can I do to turn this problem into an opportunity? Or how can I make this turn this problem into a challenge for me so I'm growing? And most people see problems as, oh my God, I shouldn't have problems. Tony Robbins, you might have watched the latest documentary from Tony Robbins, the Netflix, I'm Not Your Guru. But one of the things he talks about in that documentary is, he says, the one thing that in here, and the people in the audience, so there was 4,000 people or 2,000 people he was talking to, he said, the biggest problem is that most people in here believe that they shouldn't have them. But problems are a sign of life. Problems are a sign that you haven't mastered everything. Problems are a sign that it's time to grow. But most people don't see problems as that, right? So basically, you're sculpting your character, you're sculpting your insight, sculpting who you are to become the best version of yourself. I love what even Deepak Chopra talks about this, and he says, if you knew everything there is to know, and there was no problems left for you to solve, no more achievements, or no more mountains to conquer, or no more anything to do, there would be no reason to be here, right? That right there tells you that the fact that there must be problems for you to grow. There must be struggles. There must be times of adversity where our current set of beliefs are being challenged, or our current life is being challenged. And each stage of life, which occurs, on average every 7 years, you're going to get a challenge, probably a major challenge. Problems every day, but major challenges usually every 7 years. Again, you transfer from each life stage, from 7 to 14 to 21, and you're faced with different challenges, and you're growing at different times. And if you're not staying ahead of the change will be on top of you. If you're not on top of change will be on top of you, as they say. So that's been a big thing for me as of late, being flexible in my mindset and being open to certain things, and seeing where, okay, so this is happening right now. How can I make this an opportunity? How can I grow from this? So to your audience, if you're going through tough times, if you're going through, I'll give you an example. I have a couple clients that are both recovering alcoholics, and you talk about going through tough times. One of them basically was considered basically physically and medically dead for about 20 to 24 minutes. Like, he was gone. So, and then he came back for whatever reason, and now he's basically he's on the road to recovery. Sorry, guys, give me 1 minute.
No worries.
Sorry. And my second client, she's struggling too. So you think about tough times. I'm constantly reinforcing that. Like, how's this an opportunity? Without this, now the fact that you're stronger, the fact that you're alive now, you now have an opportunity to, if anything's to learn from that experience, is that if you finally claim your life back, you can then have the power and the insight and the wisdom to go help other alcoholics that are going through the same thing you are. You understand what I'm saying? You're basically paying it forward. You're basically taking your lemons and turning them into lemonade and making them sweeter.
Yeah, I really like that point. But how would you kind of go about changing from the mindset of, oh no, this is a crippling problem that I can't handle, to, I love this. I can't wait to go tackle another problem, solve another problem, or go after the challenge, because there's people out there who I find that's what they really love. Like, they crave that challenge, those problems, that failure that they could use to grow. And others, it kind of, any little piece of that kind of cripples them. How do we get through that?
Well, you used a great word, cripple, right? And if you think about the metaphor of being crippled, if I say to you the word cripple, what's the first image that comes in your mind? Someone that can't walk, someone that can't make use of their limbs, right? So if you look at everything, if I can give you basically 2 points. the first point is this: everything is being filtered through your physiology, how you're using your body. Like the information being processed through your nervous system and your physiology is being interpreted and filtered through that. If you're in a situation where you respond with tons of fear or react with tons of fear, what happens to your body? You get tight. You start to, your eyes start to kind of, go up. Oh my gosh, and then what's the first thing you do when you're in a state of fear? You want to get out of it, right? So immediately what happens is when you get in a fear state, I got to either fight or flight syndrome, sort of that idea, right? Most people go with fear. Oh my gosh, I got to go to what's immediately comfortable: food, TV, video games, drugs, alcohol, whatever it might be, and to kind of numb them from that fear, so they don't face what's in front of them. But if you look at it this way, is it true? And I oftentimes do this with a lot of my clients. Is it true that if that particular situation causes a lot of fear, is it not possible that you could change that? If I said to the same person that responded with fear, I said to the same person, what if it meant, this particular situation meant the death of your children? Is it possible that you could override that fear and find something even stronger than the fear? Is it possible?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Especially if you value your kids, of course. If that's what you represent, right? I mean, some people don't. Let's face it, there are very few, but there are some people that say, it's not worth it. But in my case, if someone's going to happen to my children, I'm basically death. I'll go to death to protect my children, right? So the basically what I'm telling you is that there's always something inside us, a resource, a metaphor, an archetype that could overcome that fear if we just tap into it. And so oftentimes what I show people is I basically ask them this question: is there a part of you that is a warrior inside of you? That warrior might be asleep, or you may not have kind of chatted with that warrior, or that gladiator inside of you that could literally break through anything. And most people kind of go, well, yeah, but their physiology doesn't change. Any type of change is never a mental event. It's always a fully associated, integrative event, meaning you're activating your mind, your emotions, your physiology. All of you is moving in one direction. That's when transformation happens. And you're using language, you're using your thought process, nervous system, physiology, gut, everything, every part of you is moving forward. So oftentimes what I do is I trigger people into a powerful state or powerful emotional state. And then when I get them at that peak of the state, what I actually ask them, I say, could this guy take the same situation that caused you fear, now step into the situation and find a way to break through, to find a way to figure that out, or find a way to break through, or find a way to step up and break through that challenge. And most, I tell you, 100 times out of 100, in that particular physiological, emotional state, they're like, yeah, man, I'm crazy, unbelievable. In fact, I'll tell you a story. There was this kid, he was 14 years old, and he had this kind of bike accident when he was younger. I think it was 9 or 10. Anyway, he didn't like riding a bike anymore after that because he was afraid, right? So for years and years, and the first time I met him, I said, I basically said this to him, and his mom was there. I said, so I hear you don't like riding bikes. And I said, well, tell me about that. He said, well, I had this freak accident on a bike, and ever since then I've been afraid to ride bikes. And I said, okay, so let me ask you a question. I said, your mom is right here. Do you love your mom? He said, yeah. Okay, so what if I said to you, I'm going to kidnap your mom and you're never going to see her again? Would you let me just walk out of here right now and just kidnap your mom? Right? And so kind of freaked out. He said, well, absolutely not. And he was sort of in this slouch kind of position initially, but then I could see him kind of, he started to kind of creep up on his chair and go, show me how you respond if I wanted to kidnap your mom, right? And so I kind of grabbed his mom, just kind of show him, and I said, show me how. And he kind of stood up a bit, and his shoulders went back. You could see this fierceness in his eyes and say, no, don't touch my mom. I could tell he was like that, right? And then I looked at him, I said, this is guy I want to talk to. Could this guy ride a bike? And he looked at me, and he didn't even think about it. He goes, yeah. He didn't, it was just almost instinct. It was his subconscious mind took over, but his subconscious mind only took over because of the state that he was in. You understand what I'm saying? So being in that strong and powerful, protective, I will protect my mom, whatever it takes, he could transfer that resource to riding a bike, or doing well in school, or public speaking, or whatever it might be. Really what it comes down to is taking the place where you're really resourceful and then transferring it to a place where you feel like you're unresourceful. That's basically what it comes down to. So everyone has a place in them, or at work or at home, or a skill they're doing, that they can take that particular resource and transfer that state to another place where they feel like they're unresourceful. So what basically I'm saying to you is this: anyone that's out there that's listening to me, I'm telling you, if you feel like you're responding with mostly fear, you've got to basically break that pattern of fear, and you got to literally just basically incant something, change your physiology, change your breathing patterns, whatever it takes, and from that pattern interrupt, you're going to interrupt the pattern of mental focus, your emotional focus, and your physiology, and you'll basically collapse that fear, and then you'll be put in a very powerful state, and resources will then kind of arise from that more powerful state. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You know, a lot of times what gets people down is not just fear, it's tiredness. They come home and they kind of go, oh, I'm tired. But if I said to them, you know, I'll use this example. If I said to you at 4 o'clock in the morning, I called you at 4 o'clock in the morning, Bren, and I said, Bren, are you tired? And you answered the phone. You said, why are you calling me at 4 a.m.? And I said, Bren, you just won $100 million. Would you be tired then?
That might wake somebody up. That might wake somebody up,
right? Now, the reason why it wakes you up, because you have $100 million reason to get up, right?
Yeah.
You have 100, like now your whole mental focus changes, your physiology, your breathing patterns change. People think it's the external environment. But at the end of the day, you know, we can change our state at any moment in time. Like I could sit here all day and just sit in front of a TV. I guarantee you, if I sat like this, shoulders down, my eyes droopy, and I sat like that for 4 hours straight, do you honestly think I'd feel like an empowered individual? No. But if I had somebody walk with me, breathe heavy, and incant and repeat something like, I am strong now, I am strong now, and I said it with, you say it, you don't just kind of go, I am strong. You say it with certainty, you say it with so much strength, where you're activating your physiology and mindset. If you say that enough, if you say that for 20, 25, 30 minutes, eventually your brain's going to start to feel convinced that you are strong, right? So which is why I promote to a lot of people that, you know, you had that Facebook comment about, you know, doing your incantations and doing your meditations and doing your workouts. That literally nurtures that part of you, and it basically sharpens your focus and sharpens your ability to handle problems. Because if you do that first thing in the morning, if you have a morning ritual where you're empowering yourself, doing exercise, meditations, incantations, reading books, whatever it is, you know, prayer, whatever it might be for you, and you show, I guarantee you, if you do that on a consistent basis, and I'm sure you've experienced this, when you're in that sort of fully integrated physical, spiritual, emotional, mental state, and you're fully integrated and fully aligned, when you finally meet the first challenge, are you not going to meet that challenge with that much more certainty you break through it? More so than if you didn't do those rituals?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
That's why taking command of your physiology and your mind is so important first thing in the morning. That's why, to your audience, I highly recommend you don't look. First thing you should never do is wake up with your phone and start going, it's the worst thing to do, because guess what? You wake up going right immediately into reactive mode.
Yeah, exactly.
You're reacting to other people's worlds. You're not taking command of your life. You're reacting to other people's worlds, to Facebook, to Instagram, to email, to whatever it is, and you're just like, oh my God, and you're reacting, and that creates stress. What you want to do immediately, turn off your phone. Just get up, drink a thing of water, for example, is what I do, and the green drink and all this stuff, and I go right into my meditations, and I go to my workouts, my yoga, Tai Chi, all breathing exercises, and I'm fully charged, man. I'm fully amped up. And the first challenge that comes, would be a challenge with my kids, challenge with my work, challenge with whatever it is, I'm like, okay, I can handle this. But if I didn't do that, and I woke up with email after email, oh, and I'm stressed out, and first challenge, I'm already here. I want to meet my first challenge up here. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why morning rituals are so important, so that when challenges come, you're fully certain, you're ready, and you're in that powerful state. And then you condition. The more you do that, you condition that powerful state, even when it gets too tough. You know, as Tony Robbins talks about, you know, eventually you get to the point where you're so conditioned in that powerful state that challenges outside of you trigger you to go into powerful states. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas tough situations usually trigger people to go into fear and stress and then run away. you get to a point where challenge comes and you step into the challenge, and then people are drawn to you. Go, this guy knows, this guy has certainty, this guy is going to take care of the problem, this guy, I want to follow this guy, this guy knows what he's doing. Because you know what, when you that's what leadership's all about, bringing certainty to a place where there's uncertainty, right? So the idea is, you know, for most of your audience, if you're not doing it, and you know what, it's so funny, I talk to people, Brent, I'm telling you, and they go, I know all this stuff. Yeah, do you know all this stuff? But are you actually doing it? Are you actually consistently doing this? Are you consistently doing the prayers and meditations and reading the books? Are you consistently working out? Are you consistently nurturing your relationships? Are you consistently, just connecting with the nature? Are you consistently making deposits in your relationship? Are you consistently spending quality time with your kids? Are you consistently getting up in the morning and writing your ideas down?
See, that was gonna be my next question. Is, you know, there's a lot of people who say that, you know, I know these things, and it happens to me too, where it's like it becomes something intellectual that you understand, but you don't take action on, and you want to take action on it, but you just don't. Like, what? Yeah. You know, and you know what it takes, you know, you got to change your physiology instantly, but you know, you just don't feel like it, or it's just not the right time.
You
right?
know what, Brad? Yeah, and that's the thing. Your inner cynic, your ego, what do you want to call it? That little mind, that little thing on the shoulder is always going, no, you deserve some rest. Oh, no, it's okay. And sometimes that little child inside, what we want to call it, sometimes you're gonna have to, like, it's actually telling you something, that you've been going too hard. I mean, I had an experience lately that I was exhausted and I was doing everything to kind of amp myself up. Nothing I did, it was actually making things worse, and I decided to take 2 days off where I did nothing, where I did absolutely nothing. And so, you know, with that being said, you know, I'm gonna tell your audience that here's the one thing I've discovered when interviewing and studying and reading about very successful people, the happiest people possible, the people that I really admire. Here's the difference. The difference is these people do things even when they don't feel like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Alcoholics Anonymous has a great quote. It says, don't feel your way into an action, act your way into a new way of feeling. In other words, don't wait to feel good. Right? Don't like, okay, I'm gonna wait till I feel good to act. No, act. Change your physiology, change your mindset, incant something, drink some water, breathe, change your state, and from that action, you're gonna have a different feeling, and then you're gonna take a different action. You understand what I'm saying? So even when you don't feel like, there are times when I don't feel like doing certain things, but I know it's the right thing to do, and I'm sure you've been there where you don't feel like doing anything, and then you do it, and you're like, wow. I often tell people the best work that you do is the one you didn't feel like doing, yet you did it, right? You know, so those are the times when you take your life to the next level. So, you know, basically what I'm saying is this. Sorry, guys, give me 1 minute. So the idea, I think there, Brent, is that the first step. Here's the thing. You talked about making an intellectual sort of representation and getting inside your mind. By that time, it's too late. It's like positive thinking. I'm going to think positively. Well, that only works for so long. Here's the thing. 3 levels of mastery. Number 1 is intellectual mastery, where you get an idea, you read it in a book, or you go to a seminar, or someone tells you about it in a podcast, right? Or something like that, right? And you kind of go, oh, morning ritual. He's telling me to do a morning ritual. I get it. And so, but that's first level of mastery, where you kind of get it inside your mind and kind of go, okay, I get it. It makes sense to me. But that's not third level mastery. Second level mastery, when you then attach an emotion to that idea, and you kind of go, you don't go, I get it. You go, I really get it. I can see how this could change my life. Even though I don't have any references to suggest, something in me is telling me. There's an emotional gut feeling that's telling me that this idea is going to make things happen. But the third level of mastery, the final level of mastery, really is integrating spiritual physiology into one, meaning this, where you're not just being inspired by an idea and feeling an emotion, you're taking that emotion and that spirit and acting and literally translating that sort of spiritual idea and emotion into a physical equivalent, where you're taking action on a consistent basis. That's third level of mastery, when you condition it and condition it and condition it and condition it to the point where you're just unconscious and you're just acting in that way without even thinking about it. So to your audience out there, you might know a lot of this stuff, But if you feel like you're not doing it, ask yourself the question: are you on first level of mastery, or are you on second level of mastery, or third level of mastery? And I guarantee you, if you're not following through, it's because you still haven't get to the next second and third level of mastery. And there are certain areas of my life I certainly haven't either. And I love it because I know there's another way to another level to go. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, when it's like, if I were to tell your audience right now, go and cant something like, like the Tony Robbins one is like, I am the voice, I am the voice. You know, saying that with intensity, people kind of go, well, that's kind of nice, and then they kind of try it once, they go, it didn't work. Well, is that first level mastery, second level mastery, or third level of mastery? That's maybe first level, where you kind of got to get it and you kind of practice it once and it didn't work. Well, second level mastery is when you attach an emotion to that idea. You get emotional about it, and you go, that's it. I'm sick and tired of feeling like a loser. I'm listening to what I'm saying, attaching the emotion to the idea, and I'm gonna go do it, which then brings you to the third level, where you kind of go, you know what? I'm fully integrated, I'm inspired, and I'm ready to put this idea and put into action on a consistent basis. That's what it's all about. So let's recap that. Ask yourself the question: Am I really where I want to be? Am I happy with certain areas of my life? And if I'm not happy, like, grade it from 0 to 10. Say, all right, the 2 areas of my life I really want to work on a scale of 0 to 10, where am I in that level of happiness and feeling of certain of pleasure in my life, fulfillment, meaning in that life? So, for example, if it's money, and you kind of go, well, 0 to 10, I'm at a 2. Now, I want to make more money because I'm tired of struggling, whatever it is. And then you got to get an idea that inspires you, get intellectually sound about it, and then attach an emotion to it, and then practice things that will literally charge your mind, your body, and your soul to move in that direction of financial abundance. You don't go ahead.
Yeah, so when you say attach an emotion to it, which emotion, what's the best emotion? What's the best way to get emotional about it, not so intellectual about it? Well, have both, really.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. So if I said to your audience right now, I spoke to your audience like this: okay, guys, we're gonna get really amped up about our lives right now, and we're going to talk about personal empowerment and getting charged and really living the life of our dreams. It's not going to charge. It's right. It's not going to charge your right. It's just not going to do it. When I speak, and I want to get to. And the thing is, when I speak to somebody personally, I want to get to the soul of the person. I don't want to go, it's okay, let's just sing Kumbaya. No, I want to get to the gut level of the person so I can really get them charged emotionally, on fire. So if you notice, when I speak, I'm speaking with, you don't have to be like me, but you got, guys, I'm telling you out there, emotion comes from motion, but also emotion comes from how you speak. I mean, in the Bible it says, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was made into flesh. The word actually is flesh. When we speak a word, we actually have a physical equivalent feeling attached to that certain word. But when we speak that word with intensity, it's like Jim Rohn used an example. Like, a word is like me taking a bat and kind of just hitting you over the head with it. Like, just imagine me hitting you over the head with it. If I attach a nail to that bat and I smack it over your head, you're gonna feel it. So the words are the bat, right? But the intensity is how I use the bat and how hard I hit you with the bat. So when you want to get emotionally charged about something, first take a look at your physiology. How are you breathing? Right? How's your physiology? Are you? And one of the things I like to do is I do this breathing exercise, and I just go like this. I literally do 50 of them. I breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe into the nose, out through the mouth. Classic breathing physiology technique, and you just go as fast as you can. And you do that 50 times, and I guarantee you, unless you're completely exhausted, even if you are, you're going to feel a change in how you feel and your energy. It's going to send more oxygen to your brain, which then makes you feel like you're more resourceful. That's what I'm talking about. And I love what Tony Robbins even says too, and I've studied his work like profusely, and he talks about, his one thing he talks about is speak that which you wish to become. You got to speak it. And drive it into your soul, into your physiology, your nervous system, because if you don't, and that's why That's the problem why people don't change there, Bren. I'm telling you, here's the biggest problem people don't change. They continue to do the same things over again and expect a different result. What is that definition? What did Albert Einstein say that was?
Insanity.
Yeah, and they keep on doing the same things over and going, why isn't my life changing? And then here's the thing, and then they go, yeah, but I've been doing this for 2 days. Yeah, but you've been overeating for 40 years, right? And they expect, because we're on a diet for 2 days, oh, I didn't lose any weight. Well, you've been eating crappy for 40 years. So there's a lag time. So you got to be patient too as well with that. So the idea, I think Bren, that I'm really coming across is that what are your daily rituals that you're engaging in? And trust me, every single human, 7 billion humans have daily rituals, whether it be getting up at 6 in the morning and snoozing it 8 times, right? And then getting up with shoulders down, oh, I don't want to go to work, and I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm going downstairs, and I don't want to, and they're driving, and that is their ritual. And they wonder why they're not doing this, they're not changing, because they keep on doing the same things over again. And that's why I'm saying to you people, it might be feel uncomfortable with what I'm telling you, but I mean, we've gone through this pretty quickly, but speaking, incantations, meditations, breathing exercises, exercising, nutrition, all those things coming into one thing, doesn't mean you have to do it all at once, but what I'm saying is you're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable, that are unfamiliar, that are going to charge your life. And there's going to be periods of discomfort, because your brain always looks to what's familiar and predictable. It never looks to what's unpredictable. It always looks to what's predictable. So, and the thing is, the things that charge people's life, they might do it once and kind of go, oh, okay, that feels good, but they don't condition it. You know what I'm saying? On a daily basis. In fact, I'll get into my exercise routine sometimes, and I'll go, how did I even get here? Sometimes it's just like, oh, I just kind of just unconsciously went downstairs, did my meditations, and now I'm exercising, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I've gotten to a point in my life over the past 20 years where this is just a conditioned activity that I do on a consistent basis. 5, 6, 7 days a week. So that's what I'm getting at, guys. Like, it's those daily rituals where you charge yourself. You talk about emotional strength and courage and certainty. If you want to know what an emotion is, we actually do emotions. We don't actually have it, we do them. So if I were to say to you, Bren, show me the feeling of happiness. And I can't see you right now, but if I were to ask you, show me the feeling of happiness, and you kind of go, well, what do you mean? Show me how, like, when you're happy, how are you smiling? How's your breathing? How's your body? What are you thinking about? Where's your focus, right? And people kind of go, okay, and they get in a happy state, but oftentimes they're unconscious about it. Well, show me how you get when you're angry, and you do it a particularly physical state, and then you have a certain mindset, and you speak a certain way. Right? So every emotion has a physiology and mental state attached to it. So we do emotions. So if you're asking me what emotions are most resourceful, I think the most resourceful is without a doubt courage to face anything. And courage to me is infinite strength. Just unbridled faith and strength. And to me, it's just like you literally got to gut to your heart, to every part of you, and you got to charge that. And you want to literally tap it and trigger it as much as you can. I mean, I won't get into it now, but there's something in NLP called an anchor. And basically what you do is you get yourself in a strong state, and you do something unique. You fire off something unique, like, yes! But you got to do it where you're in a peak. And you feel like, yeah, I'm feeling strong. And you go, yes, or something, or yes, or boom, or something like that. And then if you condition that, every time you do that trigger or say that state, you go right into that courageous or powerful state that you want to trigger into that particular external environment.
That's amazing, actually, and I know a lot about that, and I think we could do like a whole 2 to 3 to 4 episodes on just anchors and NLP techniques and all that alone. But I think there's plenty here for everybody today to kind of go out and use and put into action. So could we get like a quick recap? You were saying it starts by intellectualizing it, then you turn that into an emotion, and then it starts to pull you towards taking action, right?
Yes, you got it. So again, it's taking whatever idea that's presented in front of you, and not just thinking about it, not kind of going, okay, that makes sense, and then just throwing it,
brushing it off. Yeah.
It's literally taking whatever it is, your idea, and then saying, okay, thinking about it, but also going, I kind of get it, and then getting emotional about it, getting charged about it. This could literally change my life, and see that, actually visualize even the future, saying, if I consistently take this idea and translate it into consistent action and condition this idea into my being, where will I be in 2 years? Or how will this impact my life? How will this impact my relationship? How will this impact my health? And then you emotionalize it, and then that translates into what? Action, consistent daily action, which then third level of mastery again is the integration of mind, body, and spirit, which is spiritual, physiological, emotional, and mental states together. And that's when you take action, and then it literally becomes almost natural after a little while. So I mean, again, as you said, we can do 3, 4, 5. We can do a whole weekend on anchoring techniques, on empowering techniques, and all these things that I teach people. But but as I said, the number one thing that keeps people from doing it is that they just keep it in here and kind of go, I know I should do this. I know I should. Anthony told me to do that, but they haven't at a gut level. But if I said to them, listen, at the end of this, what if I said to you $1 million is going to be deposited in your bank account? All of a sudden, they get emotional about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They go, oh my God. They see that how that could impact their life. But most people don't look past their day, and most people don't dream past their day. Most people just dream is just getting past this day. Most people plan their vacations more than they plan their life. That's how sad our world is, and it's like no people have vision anymore. That's why people are living in this like liminal space where they're just like numb. They're not really happy, not happy to do anything about it. So get charged, have visions, dare to dream again, dare to dream, and so you'll get through those 3 levels.
I love that. And there's this quote that I also really enjoy. It says lose your mind and come to your senses. And it just makes so much sense. You just kind of got to get out of the head and come into the your senses, what you feel, your heart, the more resourceful states, right? Anyways, lots today, Anthony.
I'll end here. Sorry, Brett. I'll end here. It's funny that you're saying that. Is one of the coaches I worked with a while ago. He said to me, Anthony, you got to get out of your head and into your heart.
Yeah.
You're too many things are going through your head, right? So, and it's the integration of the mind and the heart, the emotions, right? The body, mind, and soul together. That's when you get to literally transcend any situation and become, who you can be.
Yes. So, Walt, thank you, Anthony. Thank you so much for everything you do, the great work, all the knowledge you've shared with us, and everything is just amazing. So, thank you,
buddy. It's my pleasure, man. That's why I'm here on this planet, man.
Yeah, we'll see you again soon, right?
Thank you for having me and allowing me the platform to express myself and to share what I feel like I was put here on this planet for.
That's awesome, Anthony. Thank you. Well, until next time.
Okay, buddy. Take care of yourself, okay?
Yeah, you too. Peace.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to Power, Purpose, Passion, the podcast. If you've received any value from this podcast, please leave a review on iTunes. It would help us tremendously to get on the new and noteworthy and to share Anthony's message with even more people. For more information, go to anthonycheam.com or implicitentertainment.com, and all the info should be there. So thank you again. We'll see you next week.